Yeah, my name is Tobias Bertram. I'm working within SafeChem Dow Chemical and being responsible for the European market. Well, a lot of people of you most probably will say, well, there is nothing new about Perc. Perc is a solvent we used for several times, and it's a widely used solvent. Let's give me the chance to tell you the latest news, tell you a little bit about what we from SafeChem are introducing into the market, what the situation is today. We call it the new standard for perchlorethylene in textile cleaning with Dow Pure Power. First of all, let's start from the customer perspective, addressing the customer cleaning needs. I think clothing is important, an important part of today's lifestyle. Even clothing, textiles, fashion might change. It is always important for customers to have proper clothes, how they look, how it is. And customers have high expectations towards cleanliness and freshness, and also some of the previous speaker already talked about how can you enhance your dry cleaner to really deliver on that promises of serving high quality towards the fashion. At the same time, in the last years, the legislation has become more stringent. The government and the different bodies have taken a more serious view on how to treat solvents in general, how to work with chemicals. So that is also something as a dry cleaner you need to respect and see, okay, how do I fit in there? That's the guess. I mean, dry cleaning is a job for professionals, and we are just, from a supplier side, trying to work with you, trying to give you tools so that you can do your job in a professional way. And that's the reason why we started with the new standard and called it the new standard for perchlorethylene, so that customers can benefit, or that you can benefit from perchlorethylene long term, so that we together make it sustainable, use it the right way, and you can continue to benefit from the best solvent which is on the market. So that's a basic introduction. Let me have a little excursus. Some people will say, oh, European legislation, how does it affect me? That's something maybe in Brussels which is decided there. I want to take you up quickly through, in 3 slides, through REACH, which is a EU regulation. So what is it? It's a EU regulation talking about chemicals in general. Chemicals of day-to-day life. It's nothing special for dry cleaners. It's wherever chemicals are used in big factories, even at consumer level, this legislation takes place. And by the way, a lot of you know about the Euro, the common market and so on. Actually, the REACH legislation is one of the biggest legislation introduced over the last years on an EU level. Well, what's the reason for a new legislation? Why do we need it on an EU level? It's adopted to really improve and protect human health and as well the environment. And it addresses the risk of all kinds of chemicals. So chemicals we use, and we as a producer are asked to look at the different chemicals, and they are basically screened and from a governmental perspective. And as I said before, it applies to all kinds of chemicals. It's nothing for Perc, it's nothing for dry cleaning. It's in general, chemical producers have to take care of their chemicals, and they have to understand for what reason the chemicals are used. And that is why REACH impacts all of us, and also impacts you as on a dry cleaner level. Well, first of all, we as a chemical producer, what we needed to do is we needed to register a chemical. When we produce, or if you import something into Europe, you need to register a chemical, say this is a chemical and these are the chemical properties. And there is one slogan already: if you don't register a chemical, you cannot use it. Well, it's obvious, but okay, it's no use of the sentence. What is important for you is as well that you make sure when you, as a user, that you also know that your chemicals are really registered. There might be still chemicals around which are not registered. And you can ensure that all these substances, these chemicals are registered by well, the easiest way is safety data sheets. I guess you all got safety data sheets from your supplier, and in the past you had maybe 6, 8 pages. And you will have seen for some of these chemicals, you really get 40, 50 pages because there are so much extended, exposure scenarios and so on, which basically describe the use of the chemical at an end user level or at the user level. And on this safety data sheet, you should see the registration number, something to check. Plus, what is important for the use is that you also find the dry cleaning use somewhere in the extension. So on the page 10 to 40 or even more, there should be a scenario written down which talks about dry cleaning or the use in dry cleaning so that it fits to your application. If not, have a chat with your supplier about it, if this chemical really fits into the use you're using it for. So that's a brief overview about REACH. What have we done in terms of Perc in terms of registering Perc? Dow has been the leading company, and it's a consortia. We have registered perchlorethylene for dry cleaning, as well as for metal cleaning and then other applications. And based on an ECHA is the agency, European agency, reviewing all these dossiers. And in 2014, we have received with one of the first companies a so-called substance evaluation report, where they evaluated the substance and said, well, Perc is, there are no further regulatory actions on an EU level to do with Perc. So, and interesting, Perc, well, a lot of people talk about it, oh, it's dangerous and so on. Perc was one of the few substances that came out of this evaluation report with no further information requested. Well, that's of course the reason Perc is there for a long time. We know it for 50 years. We know all the great things Perc can do, but we also of course have all the risk and the exposure scenarios, and lots of studies have been already done. So when we did the application, we just needed to put all these studies together, officially file it with the EU, and then they reviewed it, and that's the reason why they then came up with the report and said, well, it's finally reviewed, it's fine, and it's safe to use it in dry cleaning. So we have, from a producer's point of view, we have taken all necessary steps to register it and to also make it sustainable. And in these reports, it's basically described if you have fourth level or fourth generation of machine technology as a minimum, plus safety measurements and so on. With it, the perchlorethylene is safe to use in a dry cleaning machine. With the new standard, and I come to that in a moment, we are trying to enhance the way how perchlorethylene is refilled, transported, stored, and so on, and even improve the quality of perchlorethylene cleaning. So the new standard helps to increase or helps with the sustainable use of perchlorethylene. So what is a new standard for perchlorethylene in textile cleaning? We have put it together a couple of bullet points and say I mean, Perc is a chemical. What can we do around it? What's important? Well, first of all, we offer Dow Pure Power, a specially formulated solvent with high purity and high quality. That is the base, of course. That's the chemical element. Around that, we have developed service elements which help you to test the solvent and as well to re-stabilize the solvent and see really detect the solvent quality. Then important is waste management services. I guess that's business as normal, but I mean it's important that you have a professional take back of waste, and we are introducing the Safetainer system into the market, a system which basically is state-of-the-art closed-loop solvent transfer system, so that you can, you don't have to fill the solvent anymore into the machine. The machine basically sucks it out of the solvent, and it's connected, emission-free transfer from the drum or from the Safetainer into the machine. Nevertheless, we still offer certified metal cans for fresh and used solvent, which are also compliant for transportation. And then we have started one campaign, and you see that as well at Textile Care Supplies and links, that they are folder there, Develop to Outperform. And Develop to Outperform, basically that campaign brings together to say, okay, well, Perc is a great solvent, but you can even have constant and even better cleaning results if you test your solvent frequently, like once a week, every 2 weeks, and so on, and make sure that the solvent stays in the right condition. And that, of course, helps to prevent odors, prevent odor from external contaminants, protects your machine as well from corrosion, plus, really getting always the highest quality in cleaning. And the develop to outperform basically includes, safe dinner systems on the one hand, then the test kit to check the solvent, plus a stabilizer to re-stabilize it, and we have included a little bit logbook, so they have a chance to put down the measures every week, and also you see a history basically. How has my solvent performed over the last weeks? Is the stabilization of the solvent, is it going down, or can you get it on a constant level, so that you have really, like in a big factory when they have these process charts and they can see, okay, how am I performing over the last year? Even you have a dry cleaner have a chance to see the performance of the solvent over a certain time, over a certain couple of weeks. But learn more about then develop the outperform campaign at our partners. And one item we also did when we talk about sustainability is, I guess a couple of you might have realized, we used to supply plastic packaging in the past. Due to all this registration and legislation, the government has taken a closer look onto that one. And I think it was the right time that we really said, plastic, there is always a difficulty, because usually a lot of plastic, there is a leak through plastic of fertilizer, which is ground and air contamination is a big discussion in the industry. And so we decided already a couple of years ago to say, we will not supply any plastic into the market. And that's the reason why we shifted to metal cans and say metal is safe. We know that through metal there is no percolating going through metal, and so that is our basic standard, we'll call it this way. And we see that a lot of customers want to go the next step, go to the next level. And the next level is, of course, a safety system, a safe transport system, like a safe dinner system, where we really don't have any emissions while transferring the solvent from the barrel into the machine. And here are just a couple of items putting down that what does it help for? It reduces the risk during internal transport and storage. It prevents contaminations to soil and water, and it helps you for a safe and easy filling of the machine. The machine basically sucks out the solvent out of the safe dinner systems, and it even have some side effects with it, preventing unauthorized people from using it. So there you need the special connection, which is at the machine to really fill the machine. So not everybody, not kids or somebody else who's in the shop, can take the barrel and accidentally spill it or accidentally open it up. And that helps basically to comply with the safety and health regulations which are already in place. So safe dinner system is best available technology there. It's rolled out, and a couple of customers already using it, and would encourage dry cleaners to go to this kind of technology to help us to all benefit long term from perchlorethylene as a solvent for the dry cleaning industry. Safe dinner, the new standard that is supported by the major machine manufacturers. We have done a program with all machine manufacturers that they know how to fit safe dinner systems to the machines. It's quite easy, and also promote together this kind of doing it the right way, doing it the sustainable way, delivering Perc to the customers and really benefiting from perchlorethylene in the future. So thank you very much for your attention, and have a great fair and have a great day. Thank you.